Hey, what's up everybody? You're going to want to see this video because I think we're getting some clear answers now. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, we can see Bitcoin is continuing to dump here, taking out this low. This is exactly what we talked about yesterday. Basically been talking about the idea here that this is going to be holding up for wave 5. Obviously, that wasn't the case because we had this dump here and it was just too lackluster of a recovery. So one of the things we talked about was getting back in this level, and quite frankly, that's what we've been discussing this pretty much since we've been up here, since we broke this range. And basically the main idea has been rise, crash, retrace, let's go down into reaccumulation and maybe build a base in here and then continue to go, right? Some type of ABC in here. So that's kind of what I think is happening, and so far it's looking good. And this is really good for the altcoins, because we do have FOMC tomorrow, right? And the last two times we had FOMC, when we were dumping into FOMC, that actually marked the bottom or a local bottom, and it actually continued to pump to the upside. So that's actually pretty bullish here. So, if we could start maybe dumping a little bit more or kind of going sideways, it might be sufficient enough to hold the price until tomorrow and start getting a pump. You can see the total 3 fractal. This is from BCB's video. We've been following it, tracking it as well. You can see we're literally right at the bottom here according to this fractal. So if the fractal is going to remain true, we really need it to be the bottom now or very, very close. So maybe another couple points, as long as it doesn't break this low right there. The fractal, in my opinion, is rocking pretty nicely, and you can see it when you go side by side here, right, with this XRP price on the right hand side. It's a fractal, and you can see it's lining up nicely. So this is getting actually very, very, very exciting to see. You have FOMC coming right in at where the previous fractal held support, and it was actually the bottom before that big run up. And then you also add the potential structure for Wyckoff accumulation. So if you look, this is ADA, by the way. So first of all, let me go to the daily chart here, put that over here. So basically ADA, we have this and you can say, well, who cares about 88? But this chart could be telling the entire story for the whole market, and not just ADA, but THETA and many other charts that have this. Basically, they're all very similar, right? Where they're all stuck in this range, right? They, basically they're the same thing. So, but ADA is actually quite clear. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So in my opinion, this obviously is wave 1. And we're in a wave 2. And then we're going to go wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So that's pretty simple, right? So what we're trying to figure out is how the wave 2 is forming. So obviously wave 2 is an expanded flat. And we know this, right? Because some people can say, oh no, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. The reason why is it's to me, it's not a sufficient enough, right, to be a 5th wave. So, it's certainly possible, right? And in which case you would have an A, B, C, and then go up. But, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, we come up for B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, and then go up, right? And that would be a big wave 2, and that's certainly possible. But what I'm thinking here is this is an A, this is a B. We took out the top, which is an expanded flat, and then we came all the way down, right? So A, B, C, right? And inside of, this pattern here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here's idea number 1. A, B, C. And now we're right in the middle of wave 5 here. So wave 5 has already begun, right? So let me remove a couple of these here. So basically, we want to see this. We have 1, 2, let's get 3, 4, and then 5. Play around a little bit, maybe build a base, and then accelerate to the upside. That's kind of how I'm thinking here. If it's going to be, you know, an ABC. The other thing that it could be, so that's idea number 1. It's not necessarily the main idea, but this is, you know, Bitcoin would have to continue to fall, and this would have to continue to break down, and then we could, you know, hold support somewhere in here. You could see right there, right there. We would probably come right around this 36, I would say between 35 and 40 cent area for the price of ADA. So that's idea number 1. So idea number 2, and remember, idea number 1 is very, very bullish. We have a wave 1, right? We have a wave 2, and now we're going up into wave 3. And inside wave 2, you have an A, B, C. And inside wave C, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're at the bottom of the correction. If it, you know, and in the 5th wave, you need 5 waves. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need to finish 3, 4, and 5, and then we can go. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, idea number 2 is Wyckoff, right? So let me show you that. And if this is the case, this is going to be this is like the buy of a lifetime right here, for not only for ADA, but for THETA as well. I actually showed THETA. I'm going to show THETA again, the Wyckoff fractal. But I wanted to show you ADA because it actually looks really good. You can see here we moved up into the resistance, move up into the resistance. We came down and took out the low. We came down. We didn't take out this low, but we did take out the closes of the low, which is important. Then we marked our way back up without taking out this high. Same thing here. We had a 3-wave move back up without taking out this high. And then you can see that's where the real interesting part occurs, which is the spring phase where you go down, 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 down. And then you actually get everybody bearish, because think about it. We've been going down since May 20th, May 22. So let me get it exactly here. Yeah, so about May 21st, right? So we've been going down approximately 20 days. So that what that is doing to someone's psychology, it's continuing to wear it and down more and more and more and more, right? And it's getting people very bearish. So then what happens is you take out the low here, right? You take out the low, which gets even more people bearish. But what it's doing is it's psychologically setting you up for a liquidity grab. So we can see, right, the spring phase comes down here. It grabs this liquidity. The spring phase is the same thing here. So I'm not saying the bottom is in, if this is the idea, but somewhere around here, we could even take out this wick and it could still be true. So something like this, where we come back up, we reclaim it, we basically trend sideways right here, and then we continue to break out. So that's kind of what I'm looking for to see if that plays out. So, yeah, I actually really I like that idea. So those are basically the 2 main ideas, right? So this is a wave 1, right? And this is a wave 2. So we're trying to finish wave 2. Could it be finished? I think it could be very close. So you could see right here, the spring phase, that's probably what's happening now. If not, then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we're going to finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Finish out wave C and then go up. So we either go up from here or we go up from here. So that's kind of what it all boils down to. right? Now, if we take both of these out, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But damn, people call me right when I'm trying to record. Okay, so I don't know, probably a spammer. I don't know who that was. Call you later, or maybe I won't. Okay, so we have basically those two ideas. And with FOMC tomorrow, and also the total 3 fractal that we've been looking at, right, would indicate that instead of this coming down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what it's actually doing is it's creating the Wyckoff pattern. If that total 3 fractal is going to hold up. So let's look at that now. So look at this, guys. This is absolutely remarkable. I mean, we are literally at the bottom of the fractal. So if there's ever a time to buy and to be a little bit gutsy, I think that would be the time. And now, I'm not saying that that's not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Could it be wrong? 100%. Could it deviate from the fractal? 100%. But if it does, then, right, we're going down into that 5th wave, which basically means the bottom anyways. So the best strategy to play this here, right, when I go back to, like, for example, theta, the best strategy, or actually, since we were talking about ADA, is for me to just dollar cost average, right? Because again, it's going to come down here, right, and a Wyckoff go up, or it's going to finish that 5th wave, then go up. So when you look at total 3, it actually supports, right? We're at the very bottom here, so that this fractal actually supports not a 5th wave, but Wyckoff, right? Which basically means a liquidity grab. And actually, the bottom could be in now, because if you look at all the closes here on the daily, right? So this is the lowest close on the daily right here. And you can see we're actually went below it, right? So we'll see if we can close below it. But yeah, maybe a little bit more down, sideways. It's always a tough one here. Maybe you get a little bit divergence, play around in here, but ultimately it was a liquidity grab. So when you go back to total 3, I mean, we're literally right there. So let me actually zoom in a little bit here. And my fractal's gone. Why? For some reason, it's not letting me zoom in with the fractal. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. I mean, we're literally right at the bottom of this thing. So if it's going to turn around, it needs to turn around now. So here's what I'll have to say. Here's like the grand finale. ADA, theta, all of them are breaking below the range. This could be a massive opportunity, right? Everybody's bearish, everybody's selling, everybody's shorting, everybody's saying, oh, we're going lower because we broke the range, we're going down, we got FOMC tomorrow, unemployment's rising, all this blah, blah, blah. So people getting bearish. We've been falling down for, how long is that now? Since back over here, May 21st, right? Just been going down, 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 down. So the psychological sentiment is down, right? Which makes people not want to buy, right? So then, when everybody's running away, that's actually the time you want to get greedy, right? Now, it could be wrong. If we break below this, then we're most likely heading to this range here. And in which case, this would be another massive buying opportunity. Right? So we don't know, is it going to reverse here, or does it have to work its way down A, B, C, and then reverse, right? So that's the big one. That's the thing we don't really know. In my opinion, I think we're going to probably reverse very soon in here. It might fall a little bit further, but I don't think it's going to get way down here. If it does get way down here, then it's just basically delaying the bull run. But we don't really have much time anyway, because if you look at the stock market, it's probably doesn't have too much energy left in it. I mean, who knows about that? So the stock market is a giant bubble just waiting to pop, in my opinion. So, people thought it was going to pop during C19. It kept going up. People thought it was going to pop last year. It kept going up. But, when you look at the fractal, right, here's all the fractals in here I took screenshots of. When you look at the stock market fractal, you can see if they start cutting rates, you could see a massive stock market crash, right? It lines up pretty nicely here. So if we get a big stock market crash, there's no way crypto is going to be able to sort of escape that wrath. Now, the good thing about a stock market crash is you get capitulation across the board in crypto, right? So if you get a capitulation in crypto, that usually marks the bottom. That marked the bottom back in 2018 when we fell from the descending triangle. It marked the bottom in 2014 when we came from that ABC. It marked the bottom from C19, right? So historically, it marks the bottom. Now, trying to catch a falling knife, just let it capitulate until it's done. But then I kind of go back to this. We still have the bull market support band there. We're still holding at the top of the range. And, again, FOMC tomorrow usually reverse the price. Now, maybe the third time it actually dumps the price. But the thing is, if the price is rising into FOMC, that usually means a dump. If it's dumping into FOMC, that usually means a pump. So whatever it's doing a week prior to the actual event is usually the opposite of what's going to happen. It doesn't always work out that way, but historically that's kind of what's been going on. So we'll see, So if this fractal is going to play out where we have some type of major reversal in, right, going back to my chart, you're going to need some kind of catalyst. Like, is there a big news event? Does the Fed say something? Maybe, who knows? Maybe something about the Ripple lawsuit. Maybe something about the Ethereum ETF starts to trade. Maybe some surprise something during the FOMC meeting. I don't know. Maybe Tesla comes out and says they bought more Bitcoin, right? Who knows? It could be anything to really set it off. Or it could just be a technical level, right? Because look, and this is another thing we didn't really talk about. Look what the price is at. We're back testing the bull market support band. We are literally, total 3, guys, breaking news. We are literally right at the bull market support band. This is exactly what we kind of been talking about here is, we had this 3-way move back up right here. So here's the thing. Right, you have this 1, 2, 3 to the upside off the bull market support band. And then you have 1, 2, 3 down on the bull market support band, right? Same thing here. You had 1, 2, 3 off the bull market support band. Same thing here. You had 1, 2, 3 off the bull market support band. 3 down to the bull market support band. 3 off the bull market support band. 3 down to the bull market support band. I mean, come on. This has been a great area to buy here. Great area to buy here. And now once again, we're right here at the critical level of the bull market support band. So this is very, very, very interesting. And then you add the fractal on top of that, right, which signals a reversal, right? I mean, come on. The fractal is actually reversing as well off the bull market support band. So when we go back in time, you could see back over here, that's exactly what it needed to do. You could see this dump right here. Back in 2020, in November, we back tested the bull market support, but that's actually marked the bottom of this whole thing. So my question is, again, everything we just talked about, the Wyckoff, the FOMC, the fractal, the ABC structure, the bull market support band, the base building, right? The 3-wave move down. I mean, everything's saying, hey, this could be the bottom. Now, if all of that fails, it could. All of it could fail. All of it could. If it fails, then what next? Then we can rule out everything, and now we can say, okay, we're probably coming down here. In which case, when we do make our way down, that would be where a great buying opportunity would come, because then you would have an A, B, C, right? And then we would get ready to roll. Hopefully, if we start to lose this and continue to just crash, then hey, something much more systematic is happening, probably with the dollar and with the economy and the stock market, right? Because remember, crypto is a great asset, but it's dependent on a lot of things. It's dependent on the dollar. It's dependent on the stock market. It's dependent on the bond market. It's dependent on Bitcoin. It's dependent on, all that's dependent on the economy, right? And what the Fed does. So, it's kind of like, back in the 1600s or even further, when they went out and set sail on their ships, they have to make sure the conditions are right, right? And back then they didn't really know what the weather was going to be 2 weeks from then, right? So when you go on a big expedition, the conditions have to be right, right? Or just like when you want to catch, some king salmon or something up there in Alaska, right? I would imagine the conditions have to be right for certain things like that. So yeah, I think this is, again, we're at a big inflection point. And basically, to summarize, something like this, or we break down and go up. So yeah, very, very interesting. So let's move on. Let's move on from that. And we have everything from there. So let's see if we can see anything else. Look at SHIB. SHIB is right on the bull market support band. It's holding support here. Is it going to continue to dump, or is this the bottom? Let's look at XRP. XRP, same thing, right? You actually had, let me see here. I think you actually have 5 waves in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this could be 1, 2. I mean, it looks, pretty decent. Let's zoom in and see. Now, I don't really like it because of the wicks, because, it doesn't look good to me because of the wicks. If I get rid of the wicks, there we go. Now it looks good, right? Now it kind of makes sense. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you basically have 7 waves, right? Which is really a 5-wave move with, that +1 in the third. So yeah, I mean, we're right here on support. I would imagine we get a bounce. So here's what I'll say. FOMC is tomorrow. We have 5 waves to the downside. We have the fractal. I'm expecting a reversal now, or at least a bounce. So we're gonna get something like this and bounce to the upside, or we're going to get a nice reversal here and then bounce to the upside, right? If we keep dumping, then that just means the wave wasn't finished, right? But once this wave finished, I can assure you, once this wave finishes, we are going to get a big pump to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Again, for Bitcoin here, we have, this could be, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and this wave 5 was actually truncated, right? So this could be A, or this could actually be A, B, C. Get down in here and then continue. The problem with that count is that this wave 2 of a lower degree is actually more time than this wave 2 of a higher degree. So the amount of time it took from the bottom of this wave 1 to the top of the wave 5 took how many days? It took about 35 days. So if I take my trend-based time tool, trend-based time from the bottom here all the way to the top, then we should expect a reversal according to this, right? Somewhere in here, right? So maybe we have 3, maybe we pop up for 3 and then we come down for 5 like this and then go higher. And that would kind of make sense to me, right? So somewhere around there from a time perspective, I mean. So then this wave 2 would actually match up. The degree of how long it is would actually match up of how long wave 1 is, right? Because right now it's not long enough. So yeah, if this is not 5 waves, but instead A, B, C, and then we have A, B, C, right? Then, you know, it's going to be more corrective. But let's see here. Let's move on to theta. So you can see theta has completely broken below the range here. We completely broke, and I don't have any wicks on the chart, so that's why it looks different. But yeah, we completely broken below it. So what we could see here is maybe a bounce up into it. Now, if we get rejected there and we start moving down, then that's going to be a bigger indication that, you know, we might need to come down and back test $1.50, $1.60 area. You see what I mean? So, but if this can come back up and hold support here, then it's going to look like a continuation and it'll complete the Wyckoff structure. But according to Wyckoff, it is getting a little deep in here. So I'm not really liking that too much. You know, when I put the wicks back on, it doesn't look as bad. But we don't want it to get too far below this trend line here, the spring, right? So, you know, the bottom should be, if it's going to be a Wyckoff, the bottom should be very, very soon, is what I'll say. Let's see, if we go down to the super small time frame, let's see, 20-minute chart, there's really no indication that the bottom is in yet. I mean, we do kind of have this wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have 5 waves, and we did take out this liquidity. So I'm wondering if we start building a base in here. If we start building a base in here, then I'm going to think we're going to come back up, right? If we continue rocking down, then we don't really have too much room before that Wyckoff pattern becomes invalid, right? So, but again, if it does come invalid, I don't look at it as a deal breaker. I just look at it as we're going to the most bullish count we got here, which is the price having a 1, 2. We break above resistance and we come down A, B, C. So we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we hold support in here, you know, between $1.35, $1.60 area, somewhere in this zone in here before heading back higher. So we could be getting close. Now, if I had to pick which one it would be, I would say let's wait until tomorrow. Now, according to the fractal, it should be done now or very, very, very soon. So you've been, you know, we all know the risk. We all know what's the possibilities. So let's see what tomorrow brings. Since, I will say this, since we're already down here, I say, you know what? Let's just come down and back test this already. That way there's zero doubt in our minds that, you know, the bottom could be in, right? Because if, you know, we've been following all the way down here. I would imagine we get down here, we're going to get a big bounce. But the reason I would like that, I mean, I'm actually fine either way. If this is going to be Wyckoff and go, or if we actually come down here, that would be a 1-2-1-2, right? And if we get down here just a little bit further, so let me put the measuring up. So we got another 20% or so. So if theta falls another 20%, then we could see a massive 1-2-1-2 setup, right? So we have the Wyckoff right here, right? We have the spring, we have the break of it. And here, from this point to this point to this point to this point is a major, major price area. So if I just extend that out, right, and then just put it right about there, that whole area would be, in my opinion, one of the best buying opportunities if we get down there. So yeah, very interesting. Let's quickly look at some other charts here. Same thing, you know, with Filecoin, right? With, you know, it looks like ADA, right? Where you have this range in here that it looks like it's breaking to the downside, and it could be some Wyckoff accumulation, or we have simply 1, 2, 3, fourth wave triangle, and then fifth wave, and then we go, right? But I don't really want to break this bottom here. I really don't want to break that low. Now, just to give you an idea of Filecoin compared to THETA, THETA is in a way better position. Like, here is THETA. Here's the low for THETA right here. Look how far away it is from the price. Compare that to Filecoin, right? When you compare that to Filecoin, same thing. You have the low here, but the price is actually right there. So that's the equivalent of, you know, THETA being at $1.10, right? So that's a big deal. So we have to be thankful that THETA has been a lot stronger than most of these altcoins, by a lot. Maybe not, you know, Solana strength, but still very strong. And that's mostly because, you know, THETA kicks butt, and, you know, you want to buy strength. And when we really go into that next bull phase, I think THETA is going to be a big winner, considering the fact of how far it's came. And same thing with, you know, THETA Fuel. So yeah, they're all pretty much looking like, you know, either this is Wyckoff and we swoop out, or we need a fifth wave, then we swoop out. So we'll see how it plays. Same thing with Matic. I mean, you could see we already broke the range, so it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're getting close, right? So if this is going to be 5 waves, we got 1, 2, 3. Maybe we get 4, and then 5. We get the bottom here, and then we go, right? So I would imagine we're getting close. Dogecoin's in a different situation here. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So maybe WXY. I don't really like it a lot. It's so small on this Y wave, or ABC, and then go. Ethereum finally getting a dump here. So Ethereum is still very, very bullish. And remember, we still have the Ethereum ETFs coming out. So we have wave 1, we're coming down for wave 2. So this is a pretty big wave 1 here, right? So we could actually even come down to the bull market support band and then continue higher. When we look at the smaller time frames on Ethereum, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you could say 1, 2, all of that's 3. We get 1 more, 4, and then 5. Right? So we basically have A, B, C. But in that case, I would say 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So now I remember now. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And now, or yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think this whole wave is a 5-wave move, which is wave 1. And then we have A, B, C for wave 2. And inside wave C, we have 1, 2. All of this is 3, right? And we have in wave 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. And then we come up for wave 4. And then finish wave 5. But I don't know. It seems a little bit too big to me if that's the case for this correction. So if that would be the case, maybe a little pop to the high and then a sweep the low and then come out. I think that would be better. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then continue higher, right? So when you zoom out, it doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks very plausible and actually bullish. Kind of flag out in here a little bit and hopefully get that reversal. Casper's just terrible. Let's see, Litecoin. Yeah, not really much to say on Litecoin. AIOZ network, don't really know. I mean, we're right on the bull market support band there. Ethereum Classic, did not hold up nearly as good as what Ethereum did. So here we are, Theta Fuel. We're actually bouncing off, or actually we're right on the bull market support band. So here's the thing. For Theta Fuel, I don't know how much emphasis is on the bull market support band. The number one thing is for Bitcoin to be on the bull market support band. I do use the bull market support band with many altcoins. Theta Fuel is one of those. It could be a hit and a miss. Sometimes it respects it and sometimes it doesn't. You can see it fell below here while Theta didn't. You can see it kind of tested it. So the bull market support band doesn't have too much significance on the price of Theta Fuel, which is okay because we have Theta to sort of balance that out. But yeah, we have, looks like a 5-wave move complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right on the bull market support band. Right, and that was a wave C. So we have A, this is a wave B, and this is wave C. So A, B, C, right? And this is wave 1. So this is wave 1, this is wave 2. So technically we should be very, 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 very close to the bottom. I mean, this is make it or break it. This is basically the big pivot point. Do we get the reversal or do we keep bleeding to the downside? Maybe there was not enough liquidations. Maybe we need more pain. But these lows are still being held. Here's a low. Here's a higher low. Here's a higher low. We still have higher lows here. So We still have this ABC running flat with this big 1-2 setup. So it's actually looking really nice. So we'll see how it goes. So, when I look at VeChain, I say, you know what? It looks finished to me. It looks nearly, almost finished. We might, this thing could capitulate a little harder. But as far as the wave structure goes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're getting wave 5. And inside wave 5, we have we have 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3. We're gonna get wave 4, and then maybe one more for wave 5, and then continue. All right, that's really what I want to see for VeChain. So we'll see if we get that. Total market, basically the same as Bitcoin. Exactly what we wanted to see, which is coming back down to this level in here. Right? You can see how important this level was. And when we're kind of playing up here correctively, chances are you're going to come down and tag it. XLM. I mean, it could technically be Wyckoff, but you came up here, right? Like this, you broke below the support, you came up and you got rejected, and now you're coming back down. So unless this turns into a move like this, you could probably expect a little bit more down. So some charts are saying, what, it looks almost finished. Other charts might be a little bit more work. Total 3 looks like it's finished within a couple days, so it'll be interesting nonetheless. XRP. Now XRP, I've been saying, just real fast again with XRP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. We have a B, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C, and then we go. So this is wave 1. This is wave 2. And we're waiting for wave 3. So we're very, very close. So we'll see. Yeah, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get that 5th wave. It looks like we're getting that 5th wave now. Unless it's just a quick sweep of the lows for a liquidity grab. But, we'll see. Again, this is very, very sort of do or die here on this inflection point. Aave doesn't look good at all. Let's see, Chainlink. See, when I look at Chainlink and Aave, they just got this little head and shoulders. It just looks bearish to me. It just looks like, it could pop to the upside. And, here's the thing, if total 3 is the bottom, then this could be finished, right? You come up, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and then you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. This could get ready to go. Now, the thing about Link is it's actually very bullish. A lot of charts have broken below their structures in here, but Chainlink is basically holding up nicely. It actually, most of the charts are in this little base here, and most of them are breaking lower. What Chainlink did was actually break above the base, and now it's actually back testing the top of the base. So it's in a much different situation. So it looks more like we have an ABC in here. So this could have been the bottom here for Chainlink. So, but all we have is 3 waves. We have 1, 2, 3, and we're coming down here. So it could be some kind of diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Could be a diagonal of some sort. We'll have to see. But yeah, Chainlink has shown strength in this recovery. I mean, it could literally come all the way back down to this range and back test and still be very, very bullish, right? Because here's a big Wyckoff range. We broke out, but we never came down to back test. That could be what we're doing. And if we did that, that would actually be very bullish. So, you know, Chainlink has plenty of wiggle room. Algorand, it's basically the same thing as ADA. Like literally identical, right? You have this wave 1, A, B, C. You're breaking the range here. It could be Wyckoff, or it could be a fifth wave and then go. So if you want to be conservative about it, I would just wait and see what happens with tomorrow, especially tomorrow. Now, if we get a big pump that comes out of tomorrow, I think a lot of people would FOMO, right? FOMC, FOMO, right? So, you know, if you're planning on buying tomorrow, I would probably, I don't know, that's a tough one. You're going to have to make that choice yourself. But I would imagine most people are dollar cost averaging, or they're getting liquidated. Here's the Dow, the stock market here. Now, it does actually look a little interesting here. We came down, we hit the bull market support band, we bounced off. We came down, we're hitting the bull market support band again. Let's hopefully, maybe we can get a bounce out here, at least a retracement. If the Dow can come up and retrace and get up here in the retracement levels, then it's going to give some relief to crypto. You can see Bitcoin dominance is continuing to pump here. So, you know, we'll see how this whole thing plays out. According to, you know, we're right at the 618 retrace here on the Bitcoin dominance. So that'll be interesting to see if we can break through it. If we want to get a big alt season, first of all, we need Bitcoin to break out and go to 80K plus. And then we need Bitcoin dominance to go up and break out as well. And then once it goes into a correction, Bitcoin dominance comes back down, then alts catch up. And that's kind of how I would think it would happen if it did. So the inverse head and shoulders we were looking at is kind of no good anymore, right? The inverse head and shoulders is no good. So see how we had a shoulder, and then we had a +1, and then we had a head, we had a shoulder, and now we could be getting a +1. So we have one, and then 2, 1, and then maybe another wave here, 2. Right, so maybe it needs a double shoulder here to break out. But one coin that's been holding up very good in this correction is Bitcoin, right? So not only is Bitcoin basically at all-time highs, but it's also at the top of the range in its fourth wave. So here's a couple charts I wanted to share with you. This is from Crypto and Noop on YouTube. He put out this chart here, and I really like it. It's the parabolic curve pattern. So you can see right here you have base 1, base 2, base 3, base 4, and then you sell it. So right now we're at base 4. So we still need another high here coming in. So we'll see if we get that. The next chart is this one here, right? So coming up to that trend line. And then we can also have Wyckoff, what we call Wyckoff reaccumulation, right? So look at the example on the right hand side, and then look at the what price of Bitcoin is doing. So we already had this little phase down here, and now we're sort of, you know, back up to the top of it. So let's see if we can break out of it. Also wanted to point this out. from Willy Woo. He's kind of a data metric guy. Bitcoin undergoing a rare minor capitulation. This one is from the halving event. Calling weak miners as they die. The dump BTC price rebounds afterwards. But first we need to purge open interest in futures bets. Liquidations need to happen before pump. So here's this little chart here. You can see the FTX had a dump right where miners capitulated, and here's miners capitulating again. So we'll see about that. Here's a chart I drew last night. Basically, this is the bearish scenario, right? So you can see we had 5 waves up, and we had this ABC, and you can see the ABC here was a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and then blast off. And this crash is more of an ABC, right? But what would be more likely is something like this, where we have the ABC, but it's actually rise, crash, reaccumulation. Could it be done? Could it be finished now? Yeah, it could be finished now. But you see this wave 2 here, we kind of want it to match up relative to time, right? We don't want it to be shorter. We want it to be about the same time as wave 2. So for example, you can see this wave 2 matched up with time with this wave 4 here, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. And then basically here's the other chart here coming down and back testing that 64, 65, 66K area, somewhere in that range. We have a 1-2, right? Basically we have a 1-2 setup, and we're waiting for wave 2 to finish. And once it finishes, looking for that wave 3. The other idea here is it could be potentially a triangle working out. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? And then we kind of consolidate in an A, B, C, D. So let's get a pump to the upside, come back down. But I don't really, this pattern's actually probably invalidated because it already took out some of these lows in here. So I wouldn't really count too much on that one. But yeah, as far as, you know, theta goes, the Wyckoff pattern is still in the works. Let's see if it plays out. If not, again, we could come down and backtest that breakout level. So tomorrow is definitely going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. I think we're going to get a bounce, a relief. We could get, more dumps today and tonight. But tomorrow it should be interesting. I would imagine we would get some kind of big relief rally. But if not, then we're just going to continue down to that 5th wave. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. Not financial advice. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.